Again, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Three Bridges and the summer project. So this is the DIRFT freight yard that I'm working on downstairs when either time restricts me being up in the loft late at night, or it's just too hot up there. It's not been the hottest summer so far. A lot of rain. Anyway, this last week we were away for quite a lot up in Aviemore, up there in the Highlands. Had a nice break, and so I've worked a little bit on one scene up in the loft, which I'll show in a different video, but this is just a little bit further I got with DIRFT. So having got, I suppose, the groundwork in last time, and then the sort of framework for the large warehouse at the back, I've started to think about the sort of the perimeter of the DIRFT yard. So at this end I've just got the Westall Wagon Works fencing. So I managed to pick up a pack on eBay, sort of half price. Somebody had bought a pack and were getting out of the hobby and selling off their stuff. So it was a nice price, and very kindly, because people are kind, he was clearing out his old stock, so he stuck in a little old freight wagon, which will go perfectly with my sort of London freight yard, which is set more in my childhood in a way. I was very grateful for him to sending that. Is Dave C. So the perimeter fence is in. So the next part of the perimeter, and we've got the fencing in, so it's just placed at the moment. I'm not going to glue anything till it's up in the loft. And I've obviously got to strip all of this off to put the board back in the loft. I've started working on a wall that basically sits between the West Coast line and the freight yard. So I'll show you a couple of pictures of the inspiration. I remember driving past and seeing these sort of wooden walls. As the trees have grown up, and you don't sort of see them as much, but the people who do the drone footage around DIRFT, and there's a number of videos, you can grab some images from those, which are really helpful. So I've started making the wall at one end. I've done sort of 3 sections. I'm just trying to get an idea of the height I want to go to. So this feels fine. This is quite low down on the track. The second level, you're still looking down into it from a much higher height, but from sort of I suppose a more realistic view, you can still see the containers behind, and you can quite easily see into the yard as well by just positioning. Anyway, so the uprights are made of so it's the evergreen I-beam. So I've got the 2.5mm, and then using these things. So they're basically the my bags of them. There's the crafting basic matchsticks. They're not quite the same size as a matchstick, I suppose, but a lot of people use them to build those matchstick style structures. So I made up a little jig. I'll show you in a minute with some card. Basically just allows me to space the uprights, and then I glue up a section of the sticks to make the boards. So these are all now joined together, a bit of dab of glue, and then my plan is to paint these up to sort of give them a sort of more weathered wood look. How long have I got to make? It's about 1.40 m for the whole wall down this section of the board, which is going to take a while. So these things take about 5 minutes to sort of glue, position them and leave them to set, and then a bit of trimming and shaping on the ends allows them to just fit in the 2.5mm slot. I just know that if I push this, the whole thing will fall over. There you go. So to make up the board panels, I've just got a bit of card with a right angle cut out, so I know that roughly to this height gives me the panel height I need. So I just glue them, each of them together. It takes a couple of minutes, and then leave that to set. It's sat on the backing for the sticky label paper because this is sort of wax, so the glue won't set onto the paper. And then I've just got the spacing that I know I need for the I-beam or H-beam uprights, and then I can sort of position them and just trim the edges because they just need a bit of a chamfer to fit in the slot. So I just measured up, so it's 1.36 meters long, and these things are just over 5 centimeters long. So I've got about 27 of them to make, and I've made 3. So I will carry on. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.